Hydroxyapatite. It's a trending buzzword and there seems to be two camps forming around this subject. It's amazing! Stay away, it's dangerous. I'm here to sift through the noise for you so you can make an informed decision on whether or not you should be incorporating hydroxyapatite into your daily oral care routine. Let's go. So first of all, what is hydroxyapatite? Well, hydroxyapatite is a mineral comprised of calcium and phosphate ions. Fun fact, our enamel is actually made up of 97% hydroxyapatite. So what's the buzz all about? Well, hydroxyapatite has been shown to actually rebuild enamel on a microscopic level, thereby reversing small cavities, smoothing out enamel, which in turn makes it less prone to surface staining, and it's shown to be just as effective as fluoride. But here's the catch. In order for hydroxyapatite to be effective in your toothpaste, it has to be a very specific particle size and concentration in the final product. To boil it down for you, you need nano-sized particles at a concentration of 10% in the final product. Herein lie all the debates and concerns. Now, before I get into these specific concerns, just wanted to remind you guys that I am offering a free Smile Reset guide that'll be linked down below, just to help you figure out what solutions to look for based on your specific dental problems. Plus, I'll include some exclusive discount codes to some of my favorite products. And if you guys want to skip the middleman and just go straight to the source, I've actually also opened up my schedule for a limited time for some one-on-one coaching calls, so that'll be in the second link down below. Anyway, back to the concerns. So the main concern about hydroxyapatite has to do with the nano-sized particles. Now, the studies that show that nano-hydroxyapatite is dangerous are basically taking nano-hydroxyapatite and injecting it into the veins directly, thereby showing that it has some detrimental effects. The problem I have with that is that hydroxyapatite in toothpaste is not the same as injecting it straight into your veins, right? Take dish soap, for example. It's pretty harmless, right? You just use it to wash your dishes. But if you were to inject it into your veins, we're probably gonna run into some issues. But the studies that actually show that hydroxyapatite is beneficial are using it in toothpaste form. And when it's used in toothpaste form, nano-hydroxyapatite particles don't actually get absorbed into the oral tissues or through the gums or whatever. And they certainly don't cross the blood-brain barrier. Some people have mentioned that the EU has banned nano-hydroxyapatite products. Again, if you read the studies carefully, they're banning very specific products. For example, aerosolized nano-hydroxyapatite products, as well as needle-shaped particle size. They did not ban rod-shaped nano-sized particles, and in fact, they have concluded that hydroxyapatite at a 10% concentration, rod-shaped nano-sized particles are safe and effective to use in toothpaste. By the way, I will leave links to all the studies that I've been mentioning so far down in the description below so you can peruse them at your own will if you'd like. Now, you do have to watch out though. The problem is hydroxyapatite is not currently a regulated ingredient by the FDA, so companies can throw in whatever particle size and concentration they want into their toothpaste. And that can potentially be misleading, if not outright dangerous. I've personally been using hydroxyapatite toothpaste for probably over 2 or 3 years now, and I've tried several different brands, and I've kind of landed on 2 brands that I'm comfortable with. The first one is Ollie. I'm not a huge fan of it because it foams up a little bit too much for my liking, but they do use the correct particle size and concentration. My husband loves to use their brand. The other brand, and the one that I personally use, is actually Dr. Jen's, and I even use it for my toddler because they have strawberry flavored. But this isn't necessarily like a recommendation to use only one of these 2 brands. There are plenty of other brands out there. Again, I've tried several. These are just the 2 that I've kind of landed on, but you're welcome to do your own research. What I recommend is to reach out to these companies specifically, check their particle size, their concentration, see what answers they give you, and kind of go from there. Now, in 10 to 15 years, could they possibly come out and say,
"Oh man, hydroxyapatite is actually not that great"?
Sure, it's been done before, but based on my own personal research, my experience, and all the studies that I've read, I'm personally comfortable with using hydroxyapatite in my toothpaste. Please hear me, I'm not so prideful to say anyone who has concerns about hydroxyapatite are just negative Nancys and, ignorant or whatever. You absolutely have every right to have your concerns and reservations. I won't judge you. If that is the case, then there's actually another ingredient that can help with cavity prevention and just overall improving your oral microbiome, and it's not fluoride. Watch this next video to find out what it is and how it's beneficial, as well as any pros and cons involved with this ingredient. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care of your teeth.